KTM have taken their 390 platform and given it genuine adventure intent. Tougher, taller and ready to explore. Now the smaller adventure bikes are surging in popularity, but is a small adventure bike a compromise? Or can KTM's 390 Adventure R prove that less bike can actually mean more fun? That is what I'm going to try and find out today. So if you're interested in coming along with me, stick around. The KTM 390 Adventure R is one of KTM's more off-road focused versions of the 390 platform, built around the latest 399cc single-cylinder engine. It runs a proper off-road wheel setup with a 21-inch front and an 18-inch rear, paired with spoked rims for improved durability on rough terrain. Suspension comes from WP and is where the Adventure R separates itself from the more road-orientated versions. Both the front forks and rear shock are long travel and adjustable, allowing you to dial in compression and rebound using click adjusters. Those clicks are essentially measured adjustment steps, so rather than guessing, you can count the settings and fine-tune the bike depending on rider weight, luggage, road riding, or more aggressive off-road terrain. The taller suspension setup also brings increased ground clearance and a noticeably higher seat height, giving more ability to ride over bigger obstacles, rocks and ruts. Braking is handled by Bikesure, with ABS and traction control supported by an IMU for lean-sensitive electronics, including corner and ABS. You also get ride modes and an off-road mode that comes with off-road focused ABS and traction control settings, allowing more rear wheel slip and more freedom off-road. Depending on the settings, ABS can be reduced at the rear for dirt riding, and both traction control and ABS can be switched off if you want full manual control. The bike features a modern TFT display, and the rider aids are all controlled through the switchgear, allowing you to toggle settings without needing any external tools. In terms of key numbers, the fuel tank is 14 litres, the wet weight 176 kilograms, and the seat height is 870mm. Now for reference, I'm a 5'4" individual, or 162 centimetres, and my inside leg measurement is 29 inches, or 73.66 centimetres. And for your reference, this is what it's like for me to precariously perch on this bike. Right, let's get to the ride. Well, hello everybody. I am riding KTM's 390 Adventure R. I have been looking forward to getting on this sexy orange thing. Now it is pretty windy today, so I must apologise if you can hear a lot of wind gusts. I can only do what I can do. Try and shut my visor to make it a bit easier for you guys. Hopefully I have a bit more clarity on the mic. I've been wanting to get my mitts on this bike for ages. I can't believe I'm 8 months late to the party. KTM, what is going on? Now the KTM hasn't been without its recalls, the specific Adventure R and Enduro R, but I'm happy to report that this has had the recall done. Oh, yep, don't mind about traffic. You just open your door, just chill. It's had the recall done that stops the bike stalling so easy at lower speeds, and it's also had the side stand switch recall done, which impacted a very, very small amount of UK bikes. But still, you don't want to take the chance, do you? But do you know what's crazy? When I was like researching the bike and seeing what it comes with and basically getting my knowledge together so that I can deliver the B-roll and voice over to you at the start, which details everything about the bikes, it's crazy to me because I almost forgot that KTM did a 390 Adventure. Not a 390 Adventure R, but it looked like this. I'll put an image of it on the screen right now. And I know this sounds horrible, but I actually forgot about that bike's existence because I really wasn't sold on the looks of it in the slightest. It's not for me. I feel like the headlight looks very disconnected. It looks a bit lardy. It looks a bit like a bit wide and a bit squat. It's looking choppy out there. Oh, it's windy. Yeah, that bike, literally almost forgot of its existence because it's just not something that I would personally have. Well, for 2025 and consequently 2026 now, the 390 Adventure has gotten serious. It has got that revered R letter after its name. So you know that they've tricked this up. Consequently, you know, this over the old Adventure. This is definitely designed more of a serious off-road weapon by comparison. So obviously you have the Adventure R and the Enduro R, and the Adventure R is definitely designed to be a bike that can do a little bit more road stuff, because this has things that are more road / travel orientated than say the Enduro R. So with this we've got a 14 litre tank instead of a 9 litre tank that's on the Enduro R. Tell you what, let's go down here. We've got an option of cruise control on this bike, which the Enduro R obviously doesn't have. Look at that road, that is a pretty road. Oh, and I can't wait to send the Adventure R up it. So yeah, it's also got this screen for wind protection that, to be honest, it's a very windy day today and it's doing a pretty good job. It's got an optional quick shifter fitted to this one. Woo! Sounds nice. Yeah, we've got an optional quick shifter at the cost of, I want to say £226 fitted, but I will insert the correct figure if I'm very much mistaken. So with this bike, unlike the older 390 Adventure, you know, they've given the engine a bit more power, they've made the acceleration smoother. Where I was going with this when I said it's designed to be a lot more off-road focused by comparison, this has the longer travel suspension. You know, we've got 230mm of travel front and rear. Try not to run the dogs over at river. We've got loads of adjustability, as mentioned in the intro, that you can just do with a few clicks, or 30 and 20 clicks in this instance. You know, so it's very much more fine-tunable. We've got a 21-inch front and an 18-inch rear. Oh, it's so good for just like back lane exploring. Oh, yeah, there is a massively tight hairpin here, Kate. Don't forget about that. What an idiot. Slip decklers, baby. Totally forgot that was there. I always forget it was there. I mean, I shouldn't forget it was there because I did it on a Goldwing and it scarred me for life. But yeah, it's definitely, you know, it goes through the gears nicely. It's got a bit of punch to it going up the box, even though it is quite a small capacity engine. Definitely a bike you can still have heaps of fun on. I love the wheels on this. I think they look so moody, so mean, so sexy. Black rims with, you know, the little silver details on the little nipples, whatever you call them. Technical term. Yeah, I just think it looks badass and gangster. We've also got dedicated modes with this. We've got a street mode, we've got an off-road mode, which of course gives it off-road ABS and off-road traction. Let's go over the bumps, just lapse them up. And one of the beauties of this bike is you can switch the bike off, or you can stall it if you're off-roading. You can just switch it off generally. And it's got a remember mode, so, or an always on mode, so it's always on the mode that you last selected it. It doesn't have all this, you know, Honda are good at it, they say, oh, it's for safety. And, you know, fair enough, it may help Honda sleep better at night knowing that somebody's not, it's always been reverted to a generic mode and somebody won't get on it and not realise, and then it can harm them if they're not ready for lack of intervention, if that makes sense. But KTM are just like,
YOLO! And I kind of like the YOLO aspect. It's quite nice in this nannying, babying world we live in. I got to say, did it say road closed? Still! I hope not. We might be going back up this road. This road was closed ages ago. It can't still be closed. Are you still closed? It's looking promising. It's looking promising. But yeah, one great thing and a big differentiating thing between this and the Enduro is with this we've got a big 5-inch TFT and it does show everything pretty nicely. Road ahead closed. Is it closed? Or are you just lying? Because it's only half a sign, so is that only half a truth? Who knows? It says road closed. It is looking like it might actually be closed. Yeah, they weren't just saying it for the good of the health, were they? Well, actually, you know what? This might be a beautiful opportunity for me to stick this baby in neutral, and we can have a bit of a look, a show and tell. Because I'm impressed. I'll show you why I'm impressed. I mean, look at it. That's pretty. Do I have orange blindness because I am a bit of a KTM girl at heart? Or is that pretty? Come on, you've got to say it's massively improved from the old KTM Adventure with the weird little praying mantis head and no mudguard. Whereas with this, we've got the new LED lights that kind of father the Super Adventure 1390 or even the Duke 990, Super Duke 1390. It's giving them vibes. It's tying it all in with the KTM family. But I think it really suits this like rally-esque body. So I like that it comes with a bash guard at the bottom on the Adventure, even though it's not the die-hard Enduro version. With this, even though we've got the same 21-inch and 18-inch rear as the Enduro are, this has a seat height of 870mm. As you saw, I've got quite an angle of the dangle, but it's the same as the Enduro are, which is 890. So me and Mike had them side by side and we're just comparing, and it very much seems like the Enduro seat is a bit more like that. So yeah, that accounts for the lower seat height of the 390 Adventure R versus the Enduro R. However, if this is a bit too intimidating in seat height for stumpy little leg folk like me, there is a less off-road biased version of this bike, so more akin to like the older 390 Adventure, the one that I said I don't like the look of that much, you know, a bit more of a softer, more road focused version. They do one of this, so there is a 390 Adventure X, and it's a lot cheaper because it's got a lot less things on it. Like, it doesn't have an IMU like this. This has an IMU. It has cast wheels. It has a, what does it have? I'm pretty sure it has a 1917 instead of a 2118. So again, you know, it's got cast wheels, smaller wheels, kind of more orientated to road riding. It's also got a lot lower seat height as well, of 825mm. I don't believe it's got this TFT dash either. There is a lot of like cost saving measures with that, which is why they can bring it in so much cheaper than this. So if you like, and it looks like this as well, it doesn't look like the 390 with the praying mantis-y bit. It's got all this going for it, like this, and it's got this, and it's got this, like the seat and the how all this looks, and it's got a lot less bling on it. It doesn't have the adjustable WP Apex suspension. I'm pretty sure it's just got non-adjustable and adjustable preload at the rear, whereas that's got a bit more going on. But yeah, for this year they've got, 2025 and onwards, they've got a new exhaust system, which I think looks quite nice, quite neat and tidy. Really, really do love this back end, how it's dead thin. I like the seat, I like the setup. The dash is super impressive. I'll pop some B-roll on it now so you can see what it's all about. But when you open it up, you've got motorcycle with ride modes, so you can delve into that. You can change it to off-road mode. You can change it to road. You can configure what mode it's in with an extra button. You can see the bike info. You can connect it to your phone. You've got favourites, you can set your favourites. You can set a quick selector, which is done with the up and down button. So the quick selector for this is ABS mode. So if you're on the road and you decide to shoot off down a little back lane, a little green lane, you can just switch your ABS mode at the touch of a button. Then the down button, the favourite one, that's ride mode. So again, if it starts raining, you can put it in rain mode if you wish. Connectivity, shift light, clocks, unit language, heating, if you were to fit it with heated grips, it says not installed on here. You know, extra functions, audio, turn-by-turn navigation, quick shifter. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Another thing, we've also got a little USB-C charger somewhere, although I haven't identified it. Where are you? Where are you? Let me find you. Oh, there it is. I found it. Found it. So that's actually quite a nice distance to the bar. It's not in a ridiculous place like some Chinese bikes I've had recently. Not off-road bikes, but they had like a charging port there. So you'd have to like run a whole wire up and... yeah, bizarre. But it's a non-adjustable screen, but it's nice. It works. That fender looks good. That's a good addition to make it look serious. The shock, I like how it's not central, it's like offset. It just looks really good. Now, one of the good things is when you get to a dead end like this, the bike only weighs 178 kilograms wet. That's wet. That's preposterous. So, let's get that stand up. It does make turning around, if you do find yourself in a bit of a tight spot, a lot easier than if this was a super adventure. Which, to be honest, I'd probably try and spin it on its stand for all it's worth. Because I'm a punk ass. And I do punk ass activities. But yeah, the trouble is, getting the stand up, I'm so small. I'm small, please help. Please help. Alright, we have got adjustable levers as well. I like that touch a lot. This bike doesn't come with as off-road biased tyres as the Enduro R does. But yeah, I think it looks cool. It looks cool. I feel cool. Third gear, I'm punishing it here. It's only a little engine, but it's doing alright, isn't it? Quick shifter down the box. We're in fourth gear. Oh, it's so windy. What the higgity heck? But you know what? It's adequate for like stuff like that. It's just gliding over it. Now, I'm actually gonna keep this review quite road biased heavy. However, if I end up getting a chance to off-road this with Mike, I say this, I won't be off-roading this, I'll be off-roading the Enduro R because it's got more off-road biased tyres on, and because of my lack of skill I need all the help I can get, even though it is a taller bike at 890mm, which does make me gulp a little bit because I don't want to drop in damage it, but it is me, so I can only try my best, can't I? So yeah, hopefully maybe I can insert some off-road opinions from Mike on this bike in this video. That might be possible, and if it is, I'll just insert a quick little bit now, quick little talking head of Mike to see what he thinks about this off-road. So Mike, how have you found the KTM 390 Adventure R off-road?
It's been much better than I thought. The slow speed suspension is quite harsh over the stones and stuff like that, but when you start picking your pace up a bit and you start hitting stuff a bit harder, the suspension really does take it. It took me by surprise actually. I've really enjoyed it. Like when you do some little jumps, it just absorbs. It's so nice, and the engine's just so revvy. It's, with all the negative reviews that I've heard about this bike, I come in expecting it to be a little bit, but no, it's really nice bike to ride, and you really enjoyed the Enduro R, which is basically the same bike.
Yeah, it's been mint.
Yeah, it's been such a good day.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your impressions, and we'll go back to my outro.
Well, that concludes my video on KTM's 390 Adventure R, and I have to say I am won over by this bike. It's something that I would own because the enjoyment I've had out of it has been high, really, really high. I like how light it is. I like how the stand doesn't lean really far over, because when you've got short legs, that makes things quite difficult. I've always been a fan of the setup of KTM's, the dash, the bars, the switch gear, the simplicity of the dash. I like that there's a lot of things that you can delve into, but it's all very intuitive. I like the ride. I mean, the engine isn't one of the torquiest out of, say, probably its competitors. You do have to kind of rev it a lot, but when you are off-roading, the clutch is easy to slip and it's absolutely fine. But yeah, even though I haven't personally off-roaded on the Adventure R, I have on the Enduro R, and kind of basically the same bike. So yeah, I think I can contribute in that way. But Mike really enjoyed this off-road, as hopefully you would have heard in the video. I have loved this on the road. I love the feel of it. I perhaps like this a bit more on the road than the Enduro R, because I like the screen, I like the dash, I like the option of cruise control. I like the bigger tank because it just feels a bit more planted without being too hefty, and it rides really nice because it doesn't have as focused off-road bias tyres, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've loved this. I've loved it so much. Would own one. I'm going to pop my pros and my cons on the screen now so you can digest them in typical format. And yeah, if you have anything to contribute to them, or you own this bike, then please do let me know in the comments below, and I'll see if I agree with you. But yeah, it's been great having this bike for a while. It's a shame it took so long for me to get on one, because now I know what I was missing out on all this time. Alright team, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hang tight and you'll catch me on the next one. Alright, bye!